Yes, sir.
See, I'm not sure what your background exactly is, but what I would
Yes.
say is whichever field you're in, try to read more of that in the English language. So, are you currently working or studying? Like, what's going on?
No, I'm currently just graduated in July itself, and I will be appearing for IELTS after that, applying for higher studies.
In
So
which
no
field?
job till now. I'll be going for Master Science in Economics.
Okay. So, there are
Yes,
so many
so from
articles about
abroad.
economics.
Yes, sir.
So, you should read that.
And yes, so whenever I'm doing reading, if there is some article regarding or some passage regarding the field which I feel interested in, I really do it in no time. But when there is something regarding history or science, it just makes me feel like I'm just reading, but I'm unable to understand.
Okay.
It gets very difficult.
What about your vocabulary? Do you understand most of the words, or do you have to go back and forth to research about every single word?
I do understand everything in English, and if I don't understand a particular word, I try to know the context by reading a line above or how it must have been presented. So that way, I think it is fine. Not so advanced, but yes, it is fine. I do know several words, but I don't use them on daily basis. But if it comes in the reading, I do know the meaning most of the time.
Okay. And what about your comprehension level? When you read, do you have to reread the same thing again and again?
It happens sometimes if I lose concentration on a particular question because I'm trying to remember the question as well as read the passage on the same time. In that moment, I tend to forget one of the things, but sometimes I just read it and it's like, yes, I remember everything. Sometimes I even remember the whole passage, even if I'll do it after completing all three of them. But sometimes it's like I just read a line just a second ago and I forgot it in that moment.
Okay.
It just happens passage-wise.
Let's do one thing. Let's cover the question types. Which question type affects the most when you start reading?
Okay, so the one that affected me most were list of headings, but now they are okay as compared to how they were earlier. True, false not given, and MCQ also sometimes I get a doubt that there might be two answers that are matching to the fullest, but eventually only one is the correct answer, but I tend to mark the wrong one most of the time. Otherwise, I was having issue with information like which paragraph contains this information. That one is also going fine by the time, but sometimes it gets very tired. Like we have to search for a particular information from such a big text and unable to retain through text, so it makes it hard for me. These are the question types which are really a great problem for me sometimes.
Okay, so I'll simply highlight the two major ones that you shared. One is true false not given, and the second one is
Yes,
MCQs.
yes, sir.
I'll simply show a chart on the screen. First of all, let me share my screen. One second. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. I hope this PDF is visible.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's understand what these question types are. So you already mentioned true false not given. So it also means that you sometimes face issues with yes or not given as well. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So basically these two questions are almost the same. And before we proceed, is my screen fully visible or is it
Yes,
partial?
sir, it is.
I think it's partially not visible. Just give me a second. I think the screen is cut off from the top.
Yes, so the terms like true, false, not given, it just
Yeah.
shows the bottom of that.
What about now?
Yes, and all this.
That's visible.
Okay.
Okay, so when we understand these question types, basically you can see that true false not given is all about factual information. So you are basically looking at information in the passage, and yes no not given
Yes.
asks you or demands that you should be understanding different opinions and how people are conveying their message. So
Yes.
whenever you approach these questions, there can only be two outcomes. You can either find the information or the opinion, or you will not be able to find this information. There are no other outcomes except these two. Do you understand this part?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about the former part, the first part. Let's say that you're able to find the information or the opinion. You will either be able to see that the information or the opinion is just paraphrased, or it
Okay.
contradicts. So
Yes, sir.
these are the only three outcomes that you can see. You can either find the information paraphrased, or it contradicts, or you cannot find the information. So basically, if I just reveal all the things, this is how the question type works. This is it.
Yes, sir.
Right? Just one thing about not given is never ever select not given right away, because we are human beings. First of all, reading is a bit challenging for most of the students because they don't have the habit of reading, and you are working
Yes.
under pressure, you are solving the passages under pressure. You only have 60 minutes to solve 40 questions. The timer is ticking, and on top of that you have the examination fear. So there
Yes,
are
sir.
probabilities that you will make errors while reading. So before you select not given, I will always recommend that verify the information once again, whether it is given or something contradicts, before selecting not given.
Okay.
Correct? Let's understand a simple slash method. So basically you can see this question, and depending on the question there can be multiple ideas. So this is an idea, polar bears. This is an idea, they are able to control the levels of bad cholesterols, and through genetic means. So these are three different sections. So depending on the question there can
Yes,
be
sir.
2, 3, 4, it depends. But let's say there are three different ideas in a particular question, and you're able to find all the information in the passage. So what does this mean? Everything is
True.
matching, it's just paraphrasing. So it
Yes,
is true.
sir.
Right? What if one of the information is contradicting with the passage?
It becomes false in that instance.
Okay. What if this is contradicting but the remaining is found, like you are able to find the rest but only one thing is contradicting?
It will still be false.
Why?
Sir, because if it is giving something which contradicts, then it doesn't matter if other half is correct or not.
Exactly. So even if you find only one thing contradicting, the answer will be false, because we are looking for contradicting information, and contradicting means antonyms. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So if you're able to find the first two and the third one contradicts, still the answer is false. You cannot write true or not given if something is contradicting.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Correct? Let's go to the third option. Let's say you're able to find two of the options or two of the information, but one thing is missing. There is no mention about this particular thing in the passage. What would you select?
It will become not given.
You are forgetting something.
Mm, if the information is not mm, written over there, then it will become not given only.
Your answer is correct, but I asked you to do a small two-step verification. That is, verify the information once again,
Oh,
whether it is paraphrasing, contradicting, and then select, because we are already solving it in a hurry.
oh, yes,
Correct?
sir.
Skimming only takes maximum 10 seconds, but this skimming verifies whether the information is given or not, because we are human beings, we can make mistakes. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Let's bring this strategy into action, and let's try this question. This is the same question. I'll give you a pen, so we'll use the same slash. So polar bears, this is one information. They are able to control their level of bad cholesterol, and we'll highlight the control part. We need to find whether they are able to control it. And genetic
Controller.
means. So try to find this answer, true, false, or not given.
Yes, sir.
So the answer would be
It seems to be true.
how?
No, because it says in the first line that by the genetic structure compared the genetic structure of polar bears,
Okay, hold on,
and
hold on, hold
after
on, hold on,
that,
hold on, hold on. So in this sentence, you can see genetics. We already have the word genes, but does this sentence have polar bear? Does this sentence has polar bear? So yes, it does. But what
yes,
about bad cholesterol? It does not.
but it is in the next line, like the one where it talks
Okay.
about you and colleague.
Yeah. So even this one has polar bear, but there is no mention of genetic means or cholesterol.
Yes, sir.
But in this
Yes, sir.
line, we have polar bears, we have gene, that is genetic means, and we also have
Yes,
bad
sir.
cholesterol. But where does it say that they can control? This is what we need
Says
to find.
it is written which reduces level of low density lipoprotein.
So reduces means control.
Yes, sir, it does.
So we found this information in this line, we found this information
Yes,
as well as this information. Thereby the answer is
mm, true.
correct. Let's do the same thing with an actual passage. Let's go to one of the Cambridge volumes.
Okay.
Okay, we already have IDP's study material, so let's practice from that. Can you see the screen?
So it is on the same page.
This
Okay,
one?
now it changed.
Now
Yes,
it's
sir.
visible, right? Alright,
Yes,
so
sir.
we have this heading here. It says this is an extract from a part 1. So this is not, this is from Cambridge volume, but this is given to us by IELTS, by IDP, right? So it says
Okay.
part 1 text about the scientist Marie Curie. So we know who this person is now. She is a scientist,
Yes, sir.
and this question type is called true false not given, the one that we just saw. What we'll do
Yes.
is we'll split the screen. Yeah. So this is our question. True false not given. We have these three
Oh,
questions.
so can I mention one thing? I've already done this type of question, like the same question I'm talking about.
You already solved it, as you have already solved a lot of
Yes,
Cambridge
sir.
volumes. So even if I open any Cambridge volume, you would say the same.
No, no, sir, I haven't done the Cambridge volumes, but I have itself seen this from one video on YouTube
Okay.
where the person was explaining like a month ago. I saw that, so I remember how it goes.
Yeah.
Like he'll choose the word joint winner, then would be like were they interested in science when was a child. So I know the trick to this one.
All
It
right. So
won't work in this passage.
let's do one thing. Let's go to another Cambridge. Can you see this screen? Cambridge 19.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So we have yes not given. We'll try the same thing with this one.
Okay.
So we'll keep the question on the right and the passage on the left. Okay, one second. All right. Okay, so how will we locate this information? That is with the help of proper nouns. Do you know what proper nouns are?
So the ones that tells about information, like some place or name.
So simply noun means name of a person, animal, place or thing. And if we are talking about a particular thing, let's say for instance my name. So Jaison, this is a proper noun.
Okay.
But if I say a man, so this is a common noun. So if we are able to find proper nouns, it becomes easier for us to find that information. And unfortunately, I do not see a single proper noun here. Let's see if we can
Yes.
find anything. Campaigns designed to correct misinformation will fail to achieve their purpose if people are unable to understand them. There is no proper noun. No, we do not have proper noun. So we'll just go with the flow. So this is 37, so we'll have to find it somewhere here. We have misinformation here. We also have
Yes,
misinformation
sir.
here.
Mm.
Campaign, so campaign. So probably this should be the passage.
Yes, sir.
Okay, everything has misinformation, so we need to be careful because it's everywhere. The passage is about misinformation. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, so we have campaign. We need to find elementary school.
Elementary school is in the third last, yes, sir.
Thank you. So we know now know that this is the correct passage to find the answer.
Yes, sir.
As I said, if you are lucky to have proper nouns, we can simply use proper nouns to locate the information by scanning. And if we do not, we have to do this thing.
Okay.
Short period, so
So
time
how did
duration.
you select, like, if you said something like, if this is question number 37, then we'll look into this particular passage.
Okay, so
That's just like predicting.
no. See, the thing is, when you start reading a lot of these passages, you'll have an idea where these question types are. So what I did is, I basically saw that it starts here. So this
Yes, sir.
information has to be in the first paragraph. So it already says here, if you can notice, first paragraph.
Yes, sir.
So this
First.
is question number 27, and this is something that I'm doing is which is called marking technique. So if you noticed, I'm indexing this passage.
Yes, sir.
A simple question: do you think that every time you approach a question and you start reading a passage, do you find the information right away, or do you find the answer right away? Sometimes we don't get the answer.
Oh, yes, sir.
Just like this one, for instance, we know the location is this one, but what if we don't get the answer right now? So we have to leave it for
We
some other
can
time.
come back later on.
We can come back.
Yes, sir.
And this will help us to locate the correct passage, or else we have to find the same passage again.
Okay.
So this is called indexing. You can index the passages. And if you notice, I underlined misinformation here as well as here. So I'm only marking the things that are in the question. So these things are only
Okay.
important. So my focus will only go to these places instead of being scattered everywhere.
Okay.
Okay, so we know the location. One thing about these question types, yes to not given as well as true false not given, is that when we start solving these question types, we'll get these answers in sequence. So if you notice 37, 38, so 39 will be down here, 40 will be down somewhere
Yes,
here.
sir.
So what we can do
Yes,
is we
sir.
can trap the information. Let's
Okay.
say we know that elementary school is here. So when we are searching for answer number 37 and we reach this location, this tells us that we should not go any further. This is our end line. We should not go any further to look for answer number 37. So this is our limit.
Okay.
Correct? So
Got
it
it.
helps us to save our time, or else we'll keep reading and it will waste our time. So when we are solving question number 37, we should know the keyword of 38. When we are solving 38, we should know what the information in 39 is. So when we come across information from 39, we know that we need to stop here and we need to solve 38 first.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
So we'll start with the slash method. Campaigns designed to correct misinformation. So this is one idea. Will
Yes.
fail to achieve their purpose. This is another idea. If people are unable to understand them. These are three ideas in this question type. So now what I want you to do is read the question 1 or 2 more times so you understand it thoroughly, and then we'll start reading from this line here. So read the
Yes,
question
sir.
in your mind. Try to read it a couple of times.
Yes, sir.
Then, so we'll start reading from the first line.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, I would request you to start reading out loud so we are on the same page.
Okay. This leads us to our third observation: a campaign to correct misinformation, even if rhetorically compelling, requires resources and planning to accomplish necessary reach and frequency.
Hold on.
For corrective campaign,
Hold on. See, our intention is yes to find answer as well as have complete comprehension. So
yes,
can you
sir.
please tell me what is rhetorically?
Even if it all maybe something which is not actually imaginatively.
See, rhetoric means a survey of the past events, that is rhetorically. So we are not talking about the past,
Okay,
we are taking a whole survey of the past events. So they are talking rhetorically, so they are surveying the past. And the second word is compelling. What do you mean by compelling?
which pleases or is attractive.
Attractive, correct. So these are our lexical resources, just like Sanskrit. We already met in the past, so I know who you are. And I've seen
Yes,
these
sir.
words, rhetorically, compelling, and all these words in the past. That is the reason I know.
Yes,
So whenever
sir.
you come
Okay.
across words that you do not recognize, that's completely fine. But what if you come across the same vocabulary the second time and you still don't know what it means? Then it will be your fault.
Yes, sir.
Correct? So what does this mean? This leads us to the third observation. So there are previous observations, we are not sure what those things are. But they are talking about a campaign. And did you notice this thing? What is this?
Yes, sir. Semicolon.
No, it's not a semicolon, it's a
No,
colon.
no, not semicolon.
It's a
Sorry. Yes,
colon.
sir.
So when do we use colons?
So when we have to describe about the information mentioned before the colon.
In simple words, explanation of what the third observation
Yes,
is given here.
yes,
Right? So it says a campaign to correct misinformation, even if rhetorically compelling. So even if we talk about the past surveys, survey of the past events, even if it is compelling, requires resources and planning to accomplish necessary reach and frequency. For corrective campaigns,
to be persuasive, which is like
persuasive
present
means
everywhere, audience need to be able to comprehend them.
persuasive means
Persuasive is which is present everywhere.
no, that is ubiquitous,
Okay,
or prevalent. Prevalent
manipulating.
is another word.
Okay,
So if you have noticed, salesmen are persuasive. They try to sell products and they'll try to push you. They will try to persuade you, and they will make you,
sir.
like, force you to take a decision. Have you
Yes,
noticed
sir.
that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That means they are persuasive. And what do you mean by
Okay.
comprehend?
Comprehend means to understand,
Perfect.
to interpret.
So let's read again. For corrective campaigns to be persuasive, so these campaigns to be effective, so people start making changes, audiences need to be able to comprehend them. So if the audience understands what they're trying to do, only then they will be able to understand.
Yes, sir.
Correct? Then, which requires
Yes, sir. Either effort to frame message in ways that are accessible or efforts to educate and sensitive audiences to the possibility of
not sensitive,
misinformation.
not sensitive, sensitize.
Okay, sensitize
Hmm.
audiences to the possibility of misinformation.
Hmm.
Okay.
So, what did you understand so far?
So that in order to make a campaign persuasive or to make it persuasive for people,
Hmm.
the people might be able to, audience should be able to comprehend it well, then only the efforts would be fruitful,
Or else,
or efforts would be required.
the campaign will be a failure. Did you understand this
Okay.
part so far?
Yes, sir.
Correct. So now read the question. Campaigns designed to correct misinformation. So yes, we are talking about campaigns which are designed to correct misinformation.
Yes,
So this
sir.
part is there. Will fail to achieve their purpose, and there is a condition. Can you see a subordinating conjunction here?
Yes,
Condition.
yes, sir.
If people are unable to understand them. So if people are not able to comprehend them, they will need to put in more
And
efforts. So the campaign will fail.
yes, sir.
So did you find all three information?
Yes, sir.
So the answer would be
Yes.
yes. I'm so glad that you said yes. Most of the students would say true. They will write to and they will lose bands. So don't
Even
make
I
that
have
same
done
mistake.
that mistake. Yes, sir.
Everybody has done that, so don't worry. So
We are
first answer.
more into habit of using true false that makes us do that mistake.
Do you know how to drive a car?
No, sir.
Okay, so do you sit in the passenger seat and every time the driver asks you to put the seatbelt on, only then we think about putting seatbelt. So just like that, we have to
No,
get
sir.
into the habit of checking the
Yes, sir.
instruction. Correct?
Yeah.
And do you
Yes, sir.
transfer every single answer individually?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just think about this. This is your question paper and this is your answer sheet. How many questions are there?
Yes, sir. 40.
40. So you're doing this 40 times.
Yes, sir.
So that's wasting a lot of time. So what you can do instead is solve an entire question type and then transfer it
Okay.
at once. So you will do like this. So you'll probably go there
Okay, I
like
got it.
10 or maybe 12 times, depending on the question types.
Yes. Okay.
Correct? So that will save a lot of time. And second thing is make sure that you index the passages. We know that the answer is here, so 37. Now we know that elementary school will tell us the answer for this one. Let's solve this one. At,
30.
attempts to teach elementary school students. So this is one information.
Yes.
About misinformation. This is another information. And have been opposed. What do you mean by opposed?
Needs to go against
Against.
something, not in favor.
Not in favor. So we have question number 38. So we know that we should also know the keywords for 39 or else we'll start reading till the last. So here it says,
Yes, sir.
it may be possible to overcome the problem of misinformation in a relatively short period. So here it's about time and definitely this will be paraphrased.
So here this line little bit matches the third last one to overcome the worst effect of the phenomena with the word overcome the problem of misinformation. We need we will need coordinated effort over time.
I'm not sure where you are. Can you tell me the passage? Is
So
it the
in the
last one?
last passage, third last line from to overcome, it somewhat matches.
The worst effect of the will coordinate efforts over time. So this means time, but the answer
Yes, sir, it
is
does.
very close to 40.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no worries. Let's start reading from here because we already reached this part. So we'll start reading from here and then we'll look about the time period and stuff. It can be paraphrased,
Yes,
so look
sir.
out for synonyms. Attempts to teach elementary school students about misinformation have been opposed. So is there any opposition that some students might? Can you please read from here?
Okay. That some student audiences might be unaware of the potential for misinformation also suggests the utility of media literacy efforts as early as elementary school, even with journalists and scholars pointing to the phenomena of fake news. People do not distinguish between demonstrably false stories and those based in fact when scanning and processing written information.
So what they're basically saying is whenever they see and process written information, they are not able to identify whether the information is true or false. They are not able to differentiate or distinguish between false stories
Yes, sir.
and the ones that are in fact. So there is no opposition so far. We are looking for this information.
Yes, sir.
Let's go further. We'll still keep an eye on short time, short period.
We live at a time when widespread misinformation is common, yet at this time many people also are passionately developing potential solutions and remedies. The journey forward undoubtedly will be a long and arduous one.
Arduous means
Future
difficult one. Hold on. Did you notice something?
difficult. So long and short, they are like
They are contradicting.
antonym.
So here we'll
It's the
index it as 39. So
okay.
now we know that 38 was nowhere to be found. There is no information about anything being opposed.
Okay.
Did you see the limit?
Yes, sir.
So in this information, as I said, before we go with not given, I want you to skim from that some audience all the way to this point. Okay, we can take till
Okay.
here. Just skim it in your mind and confirm whether any opposition or anything is mentioned or not.
No, sir. So,
Nothing?
but this particular line, the third last line, which says that journalists and scholars pointing to the phenomena.
They are just
Pointing
pointing.
would be like they're just talking.
They are just
Yeah, they are
talking.
not opposing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
It is
answer would
not
be
given there.
not given. The first one was yes. The second is not given. What is the third one?
May it be possible to overcome the problem in the relatively short. The journey forward undoubtedly will be long. So it would be false. Sorry, no.
No. And then the
No.
last one. The need to keep up with new information is hugely exaggerated in today's world. What do you mean by exaggerated?
It is shown more than it actually is, like
In Hindi में we
more
say
than
बड़ा चढ़ा के
abundance.
बोलना.
Yes, sir.
That is exaggerating. Right? So let's see if this information is given about exaggerating information. Future remedies.
Future remedies will require not only continued theoretical consideration,
Hold on.
but also the development.
Please hold on. Yeah, 1 second. So if you noticed something, here it says not only, and here it says
Yes, sir.
but also.
But also,
So this means whenever you come across something like this information is false, this is not required, and this is what's important. So always make sure that you keep an eye for these things. Okay, this one is yes or not given, so it's completely fine, but especially summaries, filling the blanks, these information when it comes to these things, or MCQs, these information reveals the answer in this way. They reveal the answer in this way.
okay. Okay.
So future remedies means future solutions will require not only
Continued theoretical consideration, but also the development and maintenance of consistent monitoring tools and a
and
recognition among.
hold on. Can you see
Yes,
this hyphen?
yes, sir.
So when do we use hyphens?
So to talk about the information once again,
To extend the point by adding a
the
little bit
second
more
one.
information. I'm talking about this one.
Yes, sir, but I'm talking like to extend which point? The second one after,
This
but
one,
also.
the previous one. I'm talking about just this one, but also they are extending this part, but also the development and maintenance of consistent monitoring tools, and they're adding more information by saying and recognition. So it's a new point for this one.
Okay. Okay.
And a recognition.
Among fellow members of society that claims which will prominence in the media that are insufficiently based in scientific consensus and social reality should be countered.
Countered.
Sorry. Misinformation arises as a result of human fallibility and human information needs. To overcome the worst effects of the phenomena, we need we will need coordinated efforts over time rather than any singular one-time
Panacea.
panacea.
Not sure what that is.
Panacea we could hope to offer.
Is there any mention of
Information?
exaggeration of information?
No, sir.
Is there any need to keep up with all the information?
No, sir.
No. So if you look at this part, this is not there. If you look at this part, this is also not there. So this answer would be
Not given.
not given. Let's verify this. Let's go to the bottom. So this is test 1, I suppose. Yeah. Yes. So this one is right. Not given.
Yes.
No. And we did not write it, but yeah, here
Not.
it is. Not given. So the answers are correct.
Yes.
Did you understand how to solve
Okay.
true, false, not given, yes or not given?
Yes, sir.
The strategy is exactly the same. All you have to do is make sure that you segregate the information so it's easier to identify it.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times you will come across words that you don't understand. If you notice, there were words that even I did not know.
Okay.
I
Yes,
think
sir.
it was here. I have no idea what panacea is. I have no idea what fallibility is. And still it's fine because we are looking for specific information. We don't need to be masters of every single word, and that's not possible. That's an endless pursuit.
Yes, sir.
Got it? So when you come across these things, make sure that you first segregate information by slashing the ideas and then try to find the answers. And I'm not discouraging you from learning vocabulary. Yes, you should learn as many words as possible. And whenever
Yes, sir.
possible, try to simply read these passages just with an intention to understand, not to solve. Just
Okay.
understand. Even the questions, don't even miss the questions. Just try to understand the questions. That's it.
Yes, sir.
I think there was MCQ. Yeah, perfect. So we'll solve this one as well, and then we'll end the session.
Okay.
So let's solve this one. So how do you solve MCQs? What's your strategy or what's your method of solving MCQs?
So first I read the question and try to understand. Mostly it's straightforward. After that, I try to just remember little key points in the answers.
From the
Or sometimes
options?
yes, so from the options, so I have an idea when I'm reading that if I get a particular information, it might be aligned with the one that was given in options. Then I go to the passage and try to eliminate the ones which can never be the answer. And mostly I end up with two options out of which one is the answer.
Okay. Let's do one thing. Let's turn the tables. Instead of being the test takers, let's be the people who create these tests. So what we'll basically do is
Okay.
we'll identify a passage. So we identified a passage. So we want to create an MCQ of passage A.
That's it.
Got it? So now we have identified our passage. We'll try to come up with a question. We'll read this thing. We'll try to come up with a question. And we'll decide that let's confuse the test taker by giving them 4 different options, which will almost be similar to the passage. So the keywords in
Yes.
these options will be taken from this passage. Are you getting the point?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So if I mark these keywords, if I try to remember these keywords, I will probably find most of them in this passage because the test taker, the test creator did this.
Yes, sir.
So what we should do is, instead of reading the options, never ever read the options. Just read the question, try to understand the answer, and then come back to eliminate.
Okay.
So when we read the question, let's say that we are just solving a question answer. Look at MCQs as question answers, not as MCQs. So let's say we read this question. It says, what point does the writer make about misinformation in the first paragraph? So we'll simply understand paragraph 1 and then we'll come back to eliminate these options. So as we just read it recently, or we can say that it's fresh in our mind, will we be able to identify whether this is right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
And there will be less confusion because we were not focusing on other keywords. We were just focusing on the answer.
Yes, sir.
Here there
Okay.
are 4 options. So what is the probability of getting the correct answer?
25.
25%. So we just read the passage, it's fresh in our mind, and we were able to identify that the first option or option A is not correct. So now what is the probability? We have 3 options left.
Yes, sir.
Did it increase? Did the probability from 25 go to 33?
Yes, sir, it did.
So is it better than 25?
Yes, sir, it is.
Let's say we were able to identify 2 incorrect information. Now the
It
probability
comes
increased to
50-50. One would be short of the answer.
50-50. Let's say
Yes,
we were
sir.
so sure by reading the information, we read the passage and we understood everything. We were able to eliminate 3 incorrect options. So now what is the probability of getting the correct answer?
100%.
Okay, now there are 2 sides. If let's say you did not understand the passage, you might accidentally eliminate the wrong answer, then you're 100% wrong that this is the wrong answer. This will
Yes,
be
sir.
100% wrong. And if you understood the passage well, this will be 100% the correct answer.
Yes, sir.
Got it? So let's understand the passage and we'll come back to eliminate the options. We have no idea what the options are. We just have the location, paragraph 1, and we just have this information. What point does the writer make about misinformation? So what is the writer talking in paragraph 1? That is what we'll try to understand. So
Yes, sir.
misinformation, for explanation they added this hyphen, and if you
Yes,
notice
sir.
it is written like this. And
Yes, sir.
if you remember your school days, we used to do the same thing. The only difference was we used to add parentheses or round brackets. Do you remember these days? We used to write information like this.
Yes, sir.
And then
To
we,
add the information.
yes, and this is the same thing, hyphen.
Okay.
We can
Okay.
also add commas. Got it?
Yes, sir.
It's one and the same. Alright, so misinformation, both deliberately promoted and accidentally shared. What is deliberately or deliberate?
With intention to do something.
Perfect. Intention is perhaps. Perhaps means
Is perhaps a possibility of something.
maybe. Perhaps I'd like to
Yes.
hang out. Perhaps I would not like to do this. So maybe.
Yes, sir.
What is inevitable?
Which cannot be avoided or ignored.
Perfect. So misinformation, both deliberately promoted and accidentally shared, is perhaps an inevitable part of the world in which we live. So we can do nothing about information that is incorrect.
Yes, sir.
But
But it is not a new problem.
that means it existed from a long time, from the past.
Yes, sir.
People,
People likely had lied to one another for roughly as long as verbal communication has existed. Deceiving others can offer an apparent opportunity to gain strategic advantage. Deceiving is to lie.
deceiving means not lying, but trying to, okay, it involves lying, but it's trying to
धोखा
cheat
देना.
someone, dhoka dena, to
Yes,
cheat someone, that is deceiving.
yes.
So yeah, to motivate,
Deceiving others can offer an apparent opportunity to gain strategic advantage, to motivate others to action, or even to protect interpersonal bonds.
what is apparent?
Moreover, people to offer an apparent opportunity.
Apparent means
Mhm. An additional opportunity.
apparent means clear. We have this habit, I have this habit of writing overall it is apparent that, I write this in task 1.
Okay.
So apparent means clear.
Good. Okay.
So apparent opportunity, a clear opportunity to gain strategic advantage, to motivate others to action, or even protect interpersonal bonds. Moreover, people inadvertently means
Without knowing.
okay, advertently means accidentally, inadvertently means, sorry, advertently means deliberately, and inadvertently means accidentally.
Okay.
Have been sharing.
Moreover, people have been sharing inaccurate information with one another for thousands of years.
So this has been going on from a long time. Did we understand the passage? Do you know? Did you get the idea
Yes,
what it
sir.
is? So let's eliminate the information. Misinformation is a relatively recent phenomenon. Did it happen recently or it existed from a long time?
No, this is wrong one. Long
So
period of
now
time it's been going on.
our probability is higher of getting the correct answer. Some people
Yes,
find
sir.
it easy to identify misinformation. Was it mentioned in the passage?
No, it was not given.
So now we have 50-50. It's just like KBC. Misinformation changes as it passes from one person to another. Did they say that one person says something, then another person adds something?
there wasn't something like this, but it says that people pass information
That is your
like this
perspective.
in order to deceive each other.
That is your perspective of deceiving. And that's not what the passage says. I've seen
Okay,
students doing this. They add their own perspective and they try to find the answer. But we are not giving our opinion.
okay.
So see,
Yes. So then it
eliminated.
is not there.
So it is 100% either D or 100% we are wrong that D is the answer. So let's say there may be a number of reasons for the spread of misinformation. It was mentioned here. People accidentally have been
People,
sharing
yes, sir.
misinformation with one another for thousands of years. One second. Yeah, these are the reasons. Apparent opportunity to gain strategic advantage, to motivate others to action, or even to protect interpersonal bonds. So these are the different reasons why people spread misinformation. So now we also have
Okay,
evidence that this is the correct answer.
got it.
Correct? Now we don't have any confusion whether this could be the answer or not because we never looked at the
Yes, sir.
keywords.
Yes, sir.
Let's verify this. Test 1, 27. So D, correct.
Okay.
Correct. See,
Yes,
the things that I shared today, these are just strategies. The reason
yes,
we
sir.
were able to find the answer is because you understand the words, you know the meaning of the words. As I said, strategies
Yes,
will only take you to the location of the answer. So if I tell you the
yes,
strategy,
sir.
you will understand that this is the correct location. But in order to understand what the correct answer is, you need to decipher the text or simply demystify the text. Alright? So yes, strategies are great, but simultaneously you need vocabulary.
Yes, sir.
Right? Sure. Any questions in these two question types?
No,
We
sir. It was
covered.
very fruitful to have this session with you.
Perfect. And we have the recording of this session. You can watch it again. I'll be sharing it in the group shortly. So we covered true,
Okay.
false, not given, yes, not given, and MCQs.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
You're most welcome. Nikki and Chirag, let's take one more question before we close this session. Nikki or Chirag, do you have any questions for the day?
Hello, sir.
Hi there.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. What about you?
Right now, I am check my essay.
I am checking.
Sorry.
You said I am check.
Yeah,
So how's it going?
sir. One sentence is I just wait a second. Sir, one sentence my friend was writing. It is additionally that support is very nursery in nurturing little one, where both the parents are working in 9 to 5. So the essay topic is in many countries the proportion of older people is increasing. Does this trend have positive or negative effects on the society? Discuss and give your opinion. Sir, when I read this essay a couple of times, I have only one question to how many paragraph on this.
First of all, can you repeat the instruction?
Does this trend have positive or negative effects on the society? Discuss and give your opinion.
So you need, see, there are two ways to approach this. It's a hybrid question, so they're asking positive or negative.
Yeah.
And they're also asking you to discuss your opinion. So there are many approaches to this one. Let's take a page where there is space.
It's they're asking only
ये
discuss.
खाली बोल रहे हैं क्या? हाँ?
Okay, somebody's mic is on. Yeah, you were saying something.
So they're asking only about discuss.
Discuss your opinion.
Do not only discuss both view. They can't say about discuss both view. Only say
Okay, repeat the
discuss.
instruction once again.
Okay. Uh, in many countries, the proportion of older people is increasing. Does this trend have positive or negative effect
Hmm.
on this society?
Hmm.
Discuss and give your opinion.
Yeah, discuss and give your opinion. So you can add an opinion separately. So what we can do is you can approach it as a positive negative question. So we need to take a position. So let's say that the position is positive. So your body one would be
Okay.
positive. What we can do
Okay.
is we can add a second body where you share your opinion, and that's it. You can add a conclusion. Another approach is you can add more paragraphs by writing body 1 positive. You can also add more points in second paragraph by extending your points, and then you can add another paragraph. What am I doing? Positive. Body 3, again opinion, then conclusion.
Okay. So they're asking a positive or negative.
Hmm. So you need to
So
take a
can we
position.
go right or left?
You should either select positive or negative. You should not be selecting both.
Okay.
So you can go with both the structures. You can have more than one paragraph for positive. You can also have one paragraph. But if you are going with this option, your paragraphs will be longer. If you are going with this option, the paragraphs will be shorter. Just remember this.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, sir.
While Chirag unmuted himself, I think Nikki, you were about to say something.
Nothing, sir.
Okay. So I guess we'll keep the session here. It was fun because finally after a long time someone asked me something about IELTS. Because in the recent few sessions we only talked about grammar and English and stuff like that. But after a long time, and I'm glad that Sanskriti you asked this question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Strategy would be really grateful for that marking of the question.
You're most welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So
Hello, sir.
yeah, yes, sure.
Can I call after the session?
Yes, sure.
Okay, sir.
So we'll send this session here. Thank you so much for joining. We'll catch up very soon. I think the next session is very soon. Let me check the calculator. Not the calculator, the calendar. When is our next session? Yeah, it's on 16th of August now. 16th. Because on 17th we have the LRWS. So one day prior. So I'll see you guys very soon. Next week, 16th, 10 p.m. Alright? Chalo. Take care. Good night.
Okay, sir. Sir, on that day, can we deal with the sentence ending question?
Sentence.
Sentence ending.
Sorry, I'm not getting your point. Did you say sentence formation or creation?
No, a sentence ending question, and one is which paragraph contains
Yeah. So identifying the
following
information.
information.
Identifying
Yeah.
information and sentence completion. Definitely. Just make sure that you join in prior and remind me that we need to do this. Right? We always do
Okay.
first
Sir,
come
it's
first
not
serve
about
basis.
sentence. Oh, sentence completion.
Sentence completion, question type for reading. Yeah.
And which para?
Yeah. And identifying the information. Right?
Yes.
So next week, make sure that you join somewhere around 10 a.m., 10 p.m. So first come first serve. So if there is already someone asking a question, you'll have to wait for that person to complete. Right?
Okay, sir.
So be happy just join, so we'll give them an opportunity. Would you like to talk something? Be happy. All right, so we'll wind up this session. I'll talk to you guys very soon, and thank you so much for joining. Have fun. Take care. Peace.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome.
Thank you, sir.